All right, Algebra 1, here we go. 9-4, factoring to solve quadratic equations. Our essential question is, how is the zero product property helpful in solving quadratic equations? Well, let's talk about the zero product property. We haven't done that yet. What it is if you're going to multiply two numbers together, and these are factors, okay, a and b, whether it's x plus 3 or 2 or 3, whatever it is, if you're going to multiply two things together and get 0 for an answer, then either A is 0 or B is 0, or they're both 0. And 0 times anything is 0. Okay? So it's kind of simplistic in its thought. The only way you get 0 for an answer is if one of them is 0. But that's what we use to solve for these quadratics. Okay? So for example, if x plus 3 times x plus 2 is 0, then either x plus 3 is 0 or x plus 2 is 0. Okay? It's the only way you can get 0 when you multiply them. So, how does that apply to what we're doing here? Well, let's solve for t here, okay? If 4t plus 1 times t minus 2 is equal to 0, then either 4t plus 1 is 0 or t minus 2 is 0. Same deal as up there. Then just solve for the variable, okay? Once you got this here, what is t that makes this 0? Well, solve for it. Subtract the 1 over, divide the 4 out, t is negative 1/4. When t is negative 1/4, this is 0. Or t minus 2 is 0, add the 2 over, t is 2. So if t is 2, you're going to get a 0 here. So no matter what this is, times 0 would give you 0. Okay? So there's our answer right there. T equals negative 1/4 and t equals 2. Well, let's look and see how it applies right from the beginning. Let's say I have a trinomial like this and I want to solve for x, and I'm going to do it by factoring. So I'm going to factor this. We know from what we did earlier already in factoring, I split the x's up, x and x, because my a is 1. I've got a plus plus, so I'm going to get a plus plus here. That's in your notes already, it's in the book. Now I'm looking for factors of my c term, 15, that add up to my b term, 8. Okay? And you can go back and look at the factoring, look at that video, it's all in there. Well, 1 times 15 is 15, but when I add them up, I don't get 8. 3 times 5 is 15. Hey, when I add them up, I get 8. Okay? So I get 3 and 5. So I factored it. That's the first part. Okay? So 1, factor. And then 2, solve for x. Okay? So if this is true, this times this is 0, then the zero product property says that then either x plus 3 is going to equal 0 or x plus 5 is going to equal 0. Okay? Now solve for x. Subtract the 3 over, x is negative 3, or subtract the 5 over, x is negative 5. If x is negative 3, this is 0. If x is negative 5, this is 0. So anything times 0 gives you 0 for your answer. So those are my solutions right there for x. Well, let's take one here. It's not equal to 0, so I got to subtract the 18. Okay, remember you can't combine terms that aren't the same, so that's what it looks like. Since my a is not 1, I got a fabulous factor here. I can't factor anything out, so I'm going to fabulous factor. That's in your notes also. 4x all over 4, and that's going to equal 0. Minus minus, so I'm going to get a plus minus. Anytime I get a minus c, I get a plus minus. There are no factors of 18 that differ by 21. That's why we multiply these two, and you're going to get negative 72. So what times what is 72, but if I subtract it, I get a negative 21? Well, let's see. 1 times 72 is 72, but if I subtract, I'm not going to get 21. 2 times 36, same thing, I can't subtract to get 21. 3 goes into there, 3 times 24. Hey, what's 3 minus 24? Negative 21. Bingo, that's what I'm looking for. So my 3 is positive, my 24 is minus, negative, boom. 4 goes into both, so I get 4x plus 3. 4 goes in there once, 4 goes in there 6 times. So now I've got it factored. Now I can set each factor equal to 0 and solve for x. Subtract the 3. Divide out the 4. Boom. Okay, negative 3/4. Or x minus 6 is 0. Add the 6 over. Bam. Okay? So, just a couple different examples of factoring and how you get it to that point where you can use the zero product property of setting each factor equal to 0 and solving for x. Okay? That's what we're going to look at in class tomorrow. We'll look at some examples of it, and hopefully we can clear up some of the misunderstandings you might have right now. Okay, we'll get after that tomorrow. See you then. Bye.